All right. Welcome back to the channel. What's going on, everyone? We are back talking about crypto today. Let's go. So, I'm going to bring up, a mix of AI coins today that I personally believe have great potential for this bull run. I'll bring up some that I've talked about before, some that I haven't. So let's just dive in. Let me get off trading view for a second here. Move that over here. So number one, I'm gonna start by even very high market cap AI coins, all right? Because I have a firm belief that AI is still gonna be one of the hardest running narratives throughout the rest of this bull run, right? Yeah, as I type in AI. So first one we're gonna do is RNDR. Render is probably it's one of two top AI coins, all right? Usually on the channel, if you guys have seen my videos in the past, I focus 95% of the time on lower capped slash micro cap altcoins. But when it comes to big corrections that we've seen in the market, a lot of coins got obliterated, all right? I don't think many people, expected prices to pull back as hard as they did, including myself on some coins that I hold and some coins that I've been bullish on. But that being said, it's definitely important now after seeing, these pullbacks and, really what can happen. This is why I want to bring up a bunch of different projects that are also large cap, mid cap, small. So I probably will start doing this a lot more because the larger cap altcoins in any narrative are going to be your safer bets, without a doubt. So we got Render here. Again, probably one of the top AI coins in the sector. It had huge run from last year, end of last year into, basically into March when it was at 11, $12. It has corrected, went all the way down to like mid $7, sitting around 8 or 9 now. Well, technically 9. But Render is a top mover for this cycle. I have no doubt in my mind. This chart looks beautiful. And it just retested previous highs here. So, we'll probably see this continue. I would not be surprised to see this continue up and continue up and continue up as AI, as the narrative itself continues to grow. Render and then Tau right now, BitTensor, are going to be the top movers in the AI sector, because they are largest in market cap and they have just very, very strong fundamentals. So we got Tau here as well, sitting around 3 billion. Excuse me. 3 billion market cap. Chart looks very good. It just went up, had a nice dip, nice bounce, went up, nice dip, and now it's on a bounce. This has went from around 380 upwards of 450 now, so it's kind of just chilling out here. But I feel like you can't go wrong with either Render or BitTensor as part of your AI portfolio. I think you could choose one or both, and you are destined to make a pretty good return on your capital. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you to buy any of these coins that I talk about specifically. But again, this is my own personal opinion. But as far as large caps on AI, those two, very strong in my opinion. Yeah, don't mind the beard. This is looking rough right now. I apologize in advance. So another AI coin I do want to cover. I haven't talked about it too often, but we got Ori Chain here. I do love Ori Chain. Initially we got in somewhere down here. I don't remember if it was like $2 or $3, something. But it went up, ran all the way to around 17, 18, and it's now back down to about $10. So it is on a beautiful dip. And if you look right around $10, that is kind of where this peak was here back in February last year. So it's kind of on like a semi support level, if you will, kind of retesting this area. And we got this level over here on 14.15, which kind of coincides with this peak here. So I think the next move is probably going to be from around $10. It's probably going to be breaking out of this little range in between, you know, I'd say even $15 to $20, you know, from like this level way back here. That's my personal guess. And again, it is a guess. You know, you can never know for sure what is going to happen in this market, but Ori Chain, in my opinion, is a very strong altcoin. It is an AI layer 1, and it's only at 160 million in market cap, which is kind of wild. But so again, at $10, you know, this easily could start running at some point. As long as Bitcoin continues, as long as the AI narrative continues to take over like it has, you know, over the last few months. Ori looks very good. You know, it's something I do want to show you guys, which I just thought about it again right now. You know, maybe I can pull it up on... No, you know, I'll pull it up here because it'll show me the market cap. So in the last bull run, you know, I'm pulling up AVACs here before we get into a couple more AI coins. Because in the last bull cycle, if you guys were there, if you were familiar with a lot of the coins that ran, you know, one of the biggest and most successful narratives in the last bull run was actually layer 1s. And AVAX was a fairly new layer 1 last bull run. You know, and I want to pull it up by market cap just to give you guys some sort of perspective of, you know, before the halving, just after the halving, a little bit after the halving, and then into full euphoria, what actually happened to some of the top projects in the space, in the sector. You know, and I feel like AI is going to have a very similar trajectory to what a lot of layer 1s did in the last cycle. I just think it is one of the hottest narratives. You know, you should not be fading AI coins at all. Well, let's just look here. So AVAX launched, let's say, I don't know exactly when it launched, but from the chart here, we got September, October, November. Market cap was literally around 100 million, maybe 100, 200 million. AVAX's first leg up went from, let's say, 100 to 200 million, upwards of almost 4 billion, kind of chopped around. Then it came down to about 2 billion, 1 to 2 billion. And so keep in mind, right here, January in 2021, this is when Bitcoin really had its rally, right? That was the first major Bitcoin leg up in the last cycle. You know, and AVAX was a slow mover too. But, you know, we saw this first leg up. It pulled again, if you got in, let's say even in November, at 83 million, 100 million, upwards of 3 billion, you know, that's already a 30x on a coin that's at 100 million in market cap, just like I showed you Ori, you know. And we had it kind of chop around, consolidated, chopped around, consolidated, came down really hard. But when altcoins really had their shining moment, this went from, again, if you had it down here, you never sold, you just continued to hold. You know, it went all the way down from 4 billion, 5 billion to around 2 billion. And then from 2 billion, when the alts really picked up, at least when AVAX did here, look at this. Upwards, again, I don't like to do the absolute top. Let's say 25 billion, you know, if you caught somewhere near the top. So from like 2 billion at the bottom to about 25 billion. You know, I think a lot of AI coins are going to have a similar trajectory to something like this. You know, because what I'm showing you guys is like we are still in the moments over here before the real euphoric runs happen, you know? That's what I firmly believe as far as where altcoins can potentially go. Do I think they're going to go, you know, as crazy as this? Like, not every single coin is going to pull anything like AVAX did. You know, AVAX was one of the top new, you know, layer ones of this cycle, or of the past cycle rather. You know, I think a lot of undervalued or smaller coins, you know, that are sitting maybe at 100 million, 200 million, they potentially could pull a trajectory somewhat similar. In my opinion, like a lot of AI coins are going to do something kind of like this, but do I think to an extent where they're all going to just hit 20, 30 billion? No, not even close. Because there are just so many more projects that you can focus on in different narratives, in different niches in crypto right now. And again, like I said, AVAX was a top project down here once it was launched, and it was popular already. But again, it's like if you get in at the lows and you just hodl, you hold, you know, that return right there from 100 million to a billion is a 10x. And then from 1 billion to 10 billion is a literal 100x. So you could have 200x your money holding Avalanche. And again, Avalanche was one of the top layer ones of the cycle. That doesn't even account for, you know, if you got into all these other altcoins, you know, at a couple million in market cap, 10, 20, 50 million in market cap, right? Again, and I'm talking about if you got in, you know, somewhere around here when it was around 100 million, you know, kind of like where Tectum is, kind of like where Ori chain is right now, you know. But the reason I'm bringing that up because Ori is a layer one and AI, so it's a great combo for something like this. So, you know, Ori itself could pull something fairly similar to a run like that. You know, we can even check Solana as well. My bad for kind of throwing this like right in between different altcoins. I should have went over this before I started, but I just want to bring this up before I forget as well. But so same thing, like Solana definitely launched a lot earlier. But, you know, similar trajectory for the last cycle, right? So market cap was minimum, like tiny. Again, I think the halving in 2020 was somewhere around here. March, April, May. So right around halving, which is kind of right now, you know, we're looking at Solana at what? In between 5 to 10, maybe 20 million in market cap. And what did it do? It sat somewhat around that for a little bit. Went all the way up to about 100 million, 100 million, 200 million. Just consolidating in between around 20 million to about 200 million, let's say, right? And then eventually it has a nice little leg up here. Goes to about 1 billion, 2 billion, 4 billion. You know, and then again, and obviously AVAX's time frame was a little different than Solana. A lot of different alts had different time frames from when they really pumped. But again, if you guys got in well before or right around the halving, you know, months before the full euphoria happened, look at that. Like, we're looking at a lot of altcoins that are going to be sitting at levels very similar to something like this right now. That's kind of what I'm trying to show you. Because a lot of coins, you know, you might think they're very overvalued right now. You know, there might be, you know, kind of at a peak, at a pretty high market cap, but in comparison to where they can go long term, like guys, I'm in crypto right now betting that some sort of run like this is going to happen again this year at some point. You know, and if it does, you know, there's going to be minimum 10, 30, 50 X's across the board in some of the strongest coins in the strongest narratives like AI. You know, but again, from 100 million, let's say, I mean, the earlier you got in, you know, the smaller the market cap, but let's say you got in at around 200 million. You know, just, all right, let's say 100 million, because that's kind of where it was all December. 100 million, you got into Solana. Look at this, just into April, May. You know, kind of when alts had their push after Bitcoin decided to rally. Market cap hit 12 billion at that peak. From 100 million to 12 billion. So from 100 million to 1 billion is a 10x. From 100 million to 10 billion is a 100x. So you would have pulled a 100x just buying into Solana any time before full euphoria happened and just held. And then, you know, maybe if you just waited till this pullback. But then it didn't even stop there, right? Obviously, Solana, again, this was a top performing asset last bull run, right? At its peak, we're not going to pull 75. Almost no one sold at 77 million. So let's say if you sold at around 60 billion. Again, if you got in at 100 million to 60 billion, I don't even know what that math is. Let's actually do it. I think that might be a 600x. It might be completely off. So let's say from 100, so 100 million times 100 million to 1 billion to 10 million. Yeah, that is. It's a 600x. So 100 million times 100. That would be 10 billion. And then times 6. So it'd be a 600x. I know the math, it didn't make sense to any of you guys looking at that, but literally a 600x if you just bought the bottom. And again, I don't know if Solana, even back then in like October, November, I don't know if that was a, top 100, top 200 coin. But again, just to show you guys, if you are allocated in the right narratives and the right assets, the actual potential that we do have coming in this market, right? And again, I'm not saying that every altcoin is going to pull something like this. There really are so many altcoins nowadays. But I think the top performers in each narrative, at least a minimum 5 to 10 very solid projects will probably pull very good gains. I don't think they're going to pull 600x's, when they're already sitting this high in market cap from down here. And again, that doesn't even account if you got into Solana at like 13 million, 50 million, it could have been 1,000x, 2,000x, right? But also the other thing I'm trying to get across is just holding through dips, right? We still have a long way to go in potential to where the cycle is going to be going, right? And this is why I preach just hold your coins, add on dips to very strong fundamental projects and just hold, because a lot of the market is going to pull some stuff kind of like this, right? All right, so now that's out of the way. Let's get back into a couple more AI coins, that I personally watch pretty much every day. I talked about the two biggest ones on the market. So we got OXO here, AI smart contract. This one is a newer one that I've been talking about, but this one is sitting at 290 million in market cap. It's had a unbelievable run over the last, 6 months. Well, actually, 12 months, February, 14 months. Oh my God. So this one's been out all the way since back here. Came up and it has just had a bullish run. And I don't think this is going to stop by any means over the next literal year. Right, so 32 cents. I don't want to give a full out price prediction on any of these coins because, it's so hard to predict, and I'm never going to be a moon boy out here. But, fully diluted too, which is really good to see. But OXO looks very good in my opinion. Definitely one to do your research on, dive into, check it out. Let's go to the AI sector actually real quick. I'm trying to cut this video short, and I'm about a couple minutes here. Artificial intelligence. All right. So Fetch AI is a good one too. I don't really talk about Fetch. I actually didn't even realize it was almost double the size of both of these. It's crazy. But Fetch is a good one too. It's definitely a top performer. I think Render, BitTensor, these are the top ones to be allocated in for large caps on AI. Yeah, like I said, we got Ori Chain, OXO, very strong. Even Nosana is kind of like a beta play to Render. Do a lot with the GPU stuff like that. Again, do your research, check that stuff out. We do have Auto No Loss here. I do like Auto No Loss. Virtual is another interesting one you can check out, but I'm trying to pull up a couple more. Graphink is a great one as well. We're going to bring up AIT. AIT I really do enjoy. I don't know why I just said it like that. AIT I like as a coin, as a project. It has had a huge run up, and then it is dumped heavily though. But what I don't like about AIT is the fully diluted. But a lot of people are staking their AIT, and I think it looks good from here. So as far as most of these AI coins go right now, I'm gonna bring up maybe one or two more here. And so we got NKI. NKI is another coin. You know, I've talked about this many times on the channel. It's still one of my favorite AI projects just across the board, but the chart has gone down very heavily, which I find kind of weird. But I think it's because a lot of people were predicting and waiting for the launch of their LLM. And then once it actually launched, everyone kind of dumped, and no one's really talked about it since. But I'm still holding my NKI, and at 20 million, I think this is incredibly undervalued. But still my favorite AI coin, you know, in the space today. Let's see if we can bring up one more here. So that's when they got GameSwift there as well. You know, like I said, I'll even talk about Graphink a little bit too. This is for low to no code tooling for AI stuff. Not even just AI stuff, but they do a lot for a lot of different functionality in Web3. I actually made a video somewhere, I think in September, October, about Graphink. If you guys watch that video, you know, you're up like a 10, 20, 30, probably more like a 50x if you saw it and you just held. But I really haven't talked about Graphink too much recently, but definitely one to check out as well. I really do like Graphink. Still on a good dip. You know, and one more too while I have it up is we got Delium, also another fairly strong AI coin. And again, also on a great dip. So looks like the chart's fairly bottomed from where it is. You know, I'd like to see, you know, another push to the upside, maybe to around 35, 40 cents, and then a retest down, you know, just to show a clear trend break, as in the trend is going to reverse. It's pulling back to then almost load up for its next move to the upside. But, you know, these are a bunch of very solid, strong AI coins. I really do believe if you guys just allocate into some of these, into the right ones, and just hold, wait until full euphoria mode in this bull run. You know, I really don't think you can lose. But again, crypto is very risky. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research when you're looking into these coins. But these are just coins that I personally am invested in, and or I am just watching and have on my radar pretty much every single day. So from here, that's what I got for you guys today. Like, subscribe, let me know what AI coins you like, what coins you're holding, what coins you got in your portfolio. But I will see you in the next video. Thank you.